Sitting in the chair next to me is a legend in veterinary behavior. His name is Dr. R.K. Anderson from the University of Minnesota College of Veterinary Medicine, one of the first to really talk about the human-animal bond in a way that now has become very popular, but at the time people were saying, what? And now people totally understand. And you know what? Worse than having a behavior problem, or let me rephrase that. Instead of having the behavior problem, dog behavior problem, how about if we avoid it? Are many problems avoidable in the first place?
Steve, you're absolutely right. Most of the problems we can avoid in the first place. And one of the ways we do it is by selection of a dog that's compatible with our lifestyle. For example, a couple that isn't going to be around much, doesn't have a lot of activity, that can't get out and walk and maybe herd sheep, shouldn't have a border collie. What we need to do is to look at our selection to start with, but in addition, we need to actually pay attention to how we are going to manage the behavior of that pet. And the way I like to manage is not by saying, no, don't do that, no, don't do that, no, don't do that. I like to actually tell the puppy what I'd like to have the puppy do, so that the puppy knows I want him to come, and I can reward him for coming. And that's the key, is that the rewards of doing what I want are much greater than the rewards of doing what the puppy wants.
Right.
And of course, the puppy wants to explore and do all kinds of things, when maybe I'd like to have the puppy come and cuddle in my lap.
Okay. So what about, let's take some specific issues here.
All right.
A dog that becomes aggressive near the food dish. How do you avoid that from happening in the first place?
Well, in the first place, what I like to do is I like to make my coming near the food dish the greatest thing that can happen to that puppy. Because what do I have that I'm going to bring to that food dish?
Hot dogs?
I'm going to bring something that the dog really, really likes. I call it the $1,000 reward or the $100 reward. And as I come by, I'm going to drop it in there first, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to reach down and put it in there. And then maybe I'm going to play with the food a little bit, because why? The dog wants to see me come. The dog says, oh, he's coming with something good.
Any way to avoid separation anxiety?
Well, yes. One of the best ways to do it is to say, hey, I'm going to socialize my dog. I'm going to give my dog activities. And I like to actually, instead of feeding my dog in the dish in the morning, I like to have toys that contain food, like Busy Buddies or so on, and I stuff them, and then I can have them around the house, and the dog has to work to get his food. So I maybe put a half or 2/3 of his food for the day in the toys, and he can work very hard all day while I'm gone.
Right.
And then at night, half an hour before bedtime, I put the remainder in the dish and let him eat in the dish.
Yeah.
And then he has a gastrocolic reflex, and that gastrocolic reflex starts working.
Which means?
Which means that he's going to be ready to
go.
have a bowel movement.
Yeah, yeah.
You see? And when you take him outside after 15, 20 minutes before you're ready for bed, and he will defecate and urinate, and then you come back in, and then he will sleep all night.
Dr. Anderson, lots more about this and lots more about everything concerning behavior on a website that I think is terrific, abrionline.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. It's been a pleasure.